This passage is great because you have no idea what the science experiment is they're talking about, which is really how you should treat every reading question. You don't need to know the science. What we're always more interested in is what's happening in between the science, right? So as I read, I'm much more interested in like these kind of connector ideas like this. So Oliver Helmsworth, I don't care where he's a professor, it doesn't matter to me. He urges caution. These results are promising, but we'll need to see corroboration from similar studies before we declare victory. So similar studies before we declare victory. Helmsworth is currently building a research team that will trek into the Cambodian jungle to study the mating rituals of spotted tree frogs, his own contribution to this emerging field. So, okay, great. Notice, I don't care about the frogs. It's not about the frogs, right? What is the purpose of this paragraph? It's going to have to do with what he's saying about the experiment, not the experiment itself. So let's take a look. Identify a flaw in Batterchee's methodology that needs to be remedied. Well, there's some strong words here. Definitely need is strong, but so is flaw. And if anything, I get kind of like a more kind of mixed tone from this. Like maybe there is some negativity with something like urges caution, but emerging field, promising, right? So there's this mixture here, and flaw is really specific. Not to mention that they don't actually identify a flaw. He's not saying there is a particular problem. He's just saying, well, we need to have corroboration. So we'll talk about that word in a second. Choice B, offer an alternative explanation for Batterchee's findings. No, there is no alternative explanation. He's just saying we need more explanations, right? So he's not providing an alternative. C, suggests that more evidence is necessary to substantiate a conclusion. Lots of words that match up with the words that we highlighted, right? So more evidence and substantiate. So more evidence, hopefully, and we need to see similar studies. That stuff is, I think, very easy for most people to connect. But I do want to point out these other two words that are kind of higher level, but are really important on the SAT. So corroboration and substantiate. When you corroborate something, you do substantiate it. You back it up with evidence. So those are the kinds of words that we're going to see in lots of science passages, regardless of what the actual science is. So you need to be comfortable with those words. Those are usually way more important than the technical details of the experiment. So this is probably our answer, but let's look at choice D. Illustrate how professional rivalries lead to greater scientific advancement. Well, no, it's not about like Helmsworth and Batterchee like kind of hating each other. That has nothing to do with it, right? He's just saying Batterchee did a good job, but we need to do more jobs. We need to do more experiments until we know for sure what's up. So hopefully this helped and introduced you to two very important vocabulary words, corroboration and substantiate, which mean to back up with evidence, to support something. They are definitely going to appear in lots of SAT passages, both on the current version of the test and the new SAT in a couple of years.